I'm going to talk about what I observe when athletes are doing the 3 up, 1 down. They might have the first week be really high quality training, check all the boxes. Of course, within that week, not every week is hard or not every week is over distance, but they do a good, solid week of training. And it's highly effective, forcing adaptations, etc. They rinse and repeat the week. They do another second week of work. It's very good and very good solid. By the end of that, what we start to see typically is athletes creating a little bit of an accumulation of deeper fatigue. And by week 3, the most common thing that we see is that athletes are having such an accumulation of fatigue from the initial 2 weeks that they're really struggling mentally and physically. And most athletes in that 3rd week are just getting through, checking the box, and desperate, absolutely desperate, and ever more desperate for a week of recovery. By the time they hit that 3rd week, which I wouldn't say is a great week of training, it's done under an accumulation of too much fatigue, they're just desperate for a whole week of recovery. They turn their back on the sport, they recuperate, and finally they restore and they get to go and rinse and repeat once again that cycle. So what you've got over 4 weeks is 2 really good quality weeks of training, and then 1 week which is substandard because there's too much of an accumulation of fatigue, and another week that you're just forcing big recovery to clean out. So 50% of your training time is less optimal. So rather than doing that, what we tend to do is hit an athlete, again, in the same as any other common week of training, not every day being hard, not every day being over distance, but a cycle of somewhere between 10 and 14 days. And then before deep fatigue starts to accumulate, we tend to integrate 2, 3, 4 days, depending on the athlete, but a much shorter cycle of recuperation. And then boom, you go right back onto plan. By doing this, we tend to have really productive training, but it's less of a reservoir of fatigue to accumulate. So therefore, the athlete bounces back much quicker. And when you string those shorter cycles together into the many, many weeks, into many, many months, you've actually done more of the effective training.